When a guy from the countryside tries to make it big in the capital, you would expect him to be completely thrown off and taken advantage of. The simple life that he had once had has been replaced with a complex and conceited world of corruption that lays before him and us, the audience. How would you be able to cope with such a revelation? Join up with a team of colourful and skilled assassins who are poised to overthrow the corrupt leadership of their country? I wouldn't have thought so, but in Akame ga Kill, that's what we get. And boy, is it crazy! When a young man named Tatsumi arrives in the capital of an as of now unnamed country, he is keen to do his village proud and save it from being lost. He intends to become a great hero and bring riches to his old home. Within the first few minutes of being there though, he gets swindled by a pretty lady, later revealed to be the skilled beastly assassin Leone, and kicked out of enrollment for the infantry because he was too bloody arrogant. At first you might think he was another anime hothead with an ego as big as the country he's trying to make it big in, but instead things go south very quick. He is taken in by a rich family and treated very kindly. For now he's okay and happy. However, the family have been known to do very twisted things with newcomers to the land, and this is shown to him by the members of the infamous assassination group Night Raid. Two of the family's victims include Tatsumi's own partners who went with him, Sayo and Iyasu. They were tortured and it's pretty horrific stuff. After escaping, Tatsumi is initiated into Night Raid in order to battle against the corruption that this state has found itself in, thanks to a puppet king who is controlled by his prime minister. As you might be able to gather from this paragraph, Akame ga Kill likes to throw curveballs and go a little nuts every now and again. Throughout the show, it is said that the country has been besieged by demons who have taken human form and soiled the land, which has once been prosperous. I'm not sure whether this is just figurative speaking or real as of yet, but still, it's kinda heavy. The rich grow richer and the poorer grow poorer. It's Night Raid's job to address the balance more in favor of those in need. The way that the crew go about this is one that brings out the crazier side of Takehiro, the story creator's mindset. Plots can go from rather stock to something that borders on nightmare fuel. Characters which may have seemed to be fairly predictable and generic can suddenly pull something out from underneath you and demonstrate their true nature, and it's often frightening or at least extreme. For example, in the first episode, Lady Arya, the daughter of the family that took Tatsumi in, goes from all innocent and demure to satanic and twisted during a 20-second rant about how country folk are the playthings of the rich and it's their God-given right to do with them as they wish. That twist is worthy of M. Night Shyamalan in how jarring it is. Jarring isn't always bad, it's just very, very different. Thankfully, you won't see this demonstrated often enough for it to become boring. It's served often enough to prevent staleness setting in and remain hard-hitting. The change of art style is to convey the hidden demon within the souls of the population, and it's drawn spectacularly, really raw and violent. I dig this. I dig this hard. One of the most important things in this show is how the main character holds himself. Tatsumi is a good main character. He has room to grow, knows how to fight, has talent, and yet he has a strong personality and motivation to do what has to be done to honor his fallen colleagues. He is like a Naruto Uzumaki in that regard. The ninja-like elements of his old village don't help to mask the similarities. Note the headbands. You would expect him to crumble instantly or be an embarrassment, but instead he carries himself with fervour and grit that is not often seen nowadays. I also respect how Tatsumi looks quite normal, but not generic, or at least not entirely generic. He has some originality nestled inside him. When we get to the female lead, Akame, the soulless assassin who wields a poisonous katana, we also see flecks of originality. At first, Akame is very cold and monosyllabic, but after it's revealed she has the ability to love and care for her comrades, she warms up quickly, and as such warms up to the audience. She has had a troubled past and has been trained to be a merciless killer, but that doesn't mean that she can't feel. When I saw her open up, I was so relieved and I was endeared to the show more. All the characters, with the possible exception of mine, the bolshy brat character, are fun to watch despite being blatant stereotypes, although being better examples of their stereotypes. The standout character for me is Bullet, the tall and strong tank of the group. He, like his partners, wields imperial arms, ancient weapons of old, which have immense amounts of power inside their armor casings. He has a suit of armor and can cut people into ribbons in an instant. However, he's not a meathead. He's actually a camp, funny and caring older brother figure for Tatsumi. He's even outed to be gay by Leone, and that added to the appreciation that I had for this show, although I didn't care for Tatsumi's initial recoiling. He does get over it quickly though. It made Bullet my favourite character. He has so much going for him. The story itself follows the above notion of being boring 1 second to then being completely insane, like it has a two-sided personality. Again, this premise is decent and one I like, but the stark mood swings are a little odd. It almost feels like Takehiro added them in at the last minute if he felt things were getting a little boring. Thankfully though, these feelings were rare, and I enjoyed my time with the show. It may not be the most beautiful show to look at, the characters are pretty standard fare for the most part, but it's certainly a good one. It holds up and the animation is consistent. I didn't spot any glaring mistakes or reduction in quality while I was watching. It may not win awards awards, but it will win fans. Akame ga Kill deserves your attention as it has personality and mindset, which is fun despite being ultra-violent sometimes. Fans won't be bored, as there is a strong amount of action as well as some cheesy comedy thrown in. Akame ga Kill is available to stream on Crunchyroll. My rating? Continue. A colourful look at the world of assassins trying to do good in a bad world. If you like what you heard, please visit my Patreon campaign to help grow Anifile at patreon.com/MasakoX, or follow me on Twitter at MasakoX.